Captain Taho Kim stood still as stone on the bridge of the UES Dauntless. His eyes never left the large screen that showed the enemy ships. The Voidborn fleet moved like a dark cloud across the stars. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. "Captain, we are the only warship left in this sector," said Commander Jae-young Park. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed fear. Tai-ho nodded. He knew what that meant. Earth's colonies were falling one by one. The aliens had better weapons. They had more ships. They seemed impossible to beat. "How many people still on Proxima Station?" he asked. "About 5,000, Jae-young said. "The last ships are loading now." Tai-ho closed his eyes for a moment. He saw his home city in Korea burning. The Voidborn had attacked Earth first. Their weapons turned cities to ash. Billions died in days. The lucky ones escaped to the colony planets. Now those were falling too. "Sir, we have new orders from command," Jae-young said, holding up a tablet. "They want us to delay the enemy. Give the civilian ships time to escape." Tai-ho took the tablet. The orders were clear. The Dauntless was to engage the Voidborn fleet, keep them busy. It was a suicide mission. No one expected them to come back. The bridge was quiet. Everyone knew what the orders meant. "Tell engineering to push the engines to full," Tai-ho said at last. "Weapons, prepare all missiles. We're going to hit them hard." "Sir, there are too many," said Weapons Officer Su Min Choi. "We don't have enough firepower to." "I know," Tai-ho cut him off. "But we need to buy time." The main screen changed to show Proxima Station. 3 large transport ships were pulling away from the docks. They moved slowly, heavy with people. Too slowly. "Those ships need 20 minutes to reach jump distance," said Tactical Officer Jun-ho Yang. "The Voidborn will catch them in 15. Tai-ho studied the enemy fleet again. The Voidborn ships always moved in perfect patterns, like they shared one mind. Perhaps they did. No one knew much about the aliens, only that they came without warning and killed without mercy. "Captain," a soft voice spoke from a small speaker. It was Hei-na, the ship's eye. "I have analyzed the enemy approach pattern. There may be a way to delay them for 22 minutes. Everyone looked up. "Show me," Tai-ho ordered. A new image appeared on the screen. It showed the Dauntless diving between 2 gas giants, using their gravity to slingshot toward the enemy's flank. "If we position ourselves here," Hei-na continued, "we can threaten their command ship. Their formation will need to adjust. That will slow them down. And then we die," Sumin said quietly. Tai-ho looked around the bridge. 20 crew members stared back at him. "Good people. The best. We all joined to protect humanity," he said. "Today we do that job. If we have to die so 5,000 people can live, that's what we'll do." Jae-young stepped closer. "What are you really planning, Captain?" "I know that look." Tai-ho almost smiled. His first officer knew him too well. "The Voidborn think in straight lines," he said. "They follow rules. They don't understand humans. We're messy. We break rules. We do the impossible." He pointed to the enemy command ship. "We're not just going to delay them," he said. His voice grew stronger. "We're going to hurt them. We're going to show them that humans don't die easily." The crew stood straighter. Hope was dangerous, but it was all they had. "Battle stations," Tai-ho ordered. "Let's show these aliens what one human ship can do." As the alarm sounded, Chief Engineer Hyun-woo Lee called from engineering. "Captain, I've got something you need to see. I think I found a weakness in their shields." For the first time in days, Tai-ho felt something like hope. "On my way," he said. The Dauntless turned toward the enemy, its engines burning bright against the darkness. One ship against an armada. The last line of defense. Tai-ho hurried to engineering. The ship shook as it changed course. In the narrow halls, crew members rushed to their battle stations. Everyone moved with purpose. They all knew what was at stake. Chief Engineer Hyun-woo Lee stood bent over a workstation. His hands were black with grease. Screens around him showed the ship's systems. Many were flashing red. "Captain," Hyun-woo said when he saw Taiho. "Look at this." He pointed to a recording of their last battle with the Voidborn. The alien ships moved together like one big creature. Their energy shields glowed blue against the darkness of space. "I've watched this 100 times," Hyun-woo said. "When our missiles hit here and here," he pointed, "their shields weakened for 3.8 seconds. Taiho leaned closer. "Are you sure?" "Yes. It's like they need to reset. A gap appears." "Can we use that?" Hyun-woo nodded. "If we hit the exact same spots on multiple ships at the same time, it might create a chain reaction." "But we need to get close," Taiho said. "Too close," Hyun-woo admitted, "within range of their main weapons." Taiho thought for a moment. "How many missiles do we have left?" 12 standard. Too heavy. Not enough for a proper fight, but maybe enough for Hyun-woo's plan. "Get them ready," Taiho ordered. "I'll tell weapons." Back on the bridge, the mood was tense. On the main screen, the Voidborn fleet moved steadily toward Proxima Station. "The evacuation ships need 18 more minutes," Jae-young reported. "And the enemy? 13 minutes until they're in firing range of the civilian ships. 5 minutes short. 5 minutes that would cost thousands of lives." Taiho explained Hyun-woo's discovery. Soo-min looked doubtful. "Captain, even if this works, we'll be right in the middle of their fleet." "That's the point," Taiho said. "Hey Anna, show us the battle plan." The ship's AI displayed a new map. It showed the Dauntless charging straight at the enemy formation. "We hit these 5 ships simultaneously," Taiho pointed. "If Hyun-woo is right, their shields will fail together. The energy release should disrupt their formation and buy the civilians time to escape," Jae-young finished. "But sir," Junho said, "we won't be able to get away after the attack." The bridge went quiet. Everyone understood what that meant. Taiho looked at each crew member. "I won't lie to you. This mission asks everything of us. But those 5,000 people on those ships are what's left of humanity. They deserve a chance." No one spoke against the plan. They had all lost someone to the Voidborn. Family, friends, whole worlds. "Sir," HANA interrupted, "I have been calculating our chances. There is a 12% probability of mission success." "And our survival?" Jae-young asked. A pause. 3.2%. Soo-min laughed without humor. "Better than I thought." Taiho moved to his captain's chair. "Prepare the ship for maximum acceleration. Transfer all power to engines and weapons." The crew jumped to work. Despite the near-certain death they faced, there was new energy on the bridge. Having any plan was better than waiting to die. Dr. Da-hyun-yoon entered the bridge. The ship's doctor rarely left the medical bay. "Captain," he said quietly, "the crew is ready, but I want you to know something." He handed Taiho a small data chip. "What's this?" Taiho asked. "Our medical records, blood types, DNA patterns, in case someone finds this ship someday, so they know who we were." Taiho took the chip, such a small thing to hold the legacy of his crew. "Thank you, Doctor. Let's hope someone finds it." The ship lurched as the engines fired at full power. The Dauntless shot forward, directly at the heart of the enemy fleet. On the screen, the Voidborn ships began to adjust their formation. They had spotted the lone human warship. "They've seen us," Jae-young said. "Good," Taiho replied. "Let's give them something to remember." The impossible mission had begun. The Dauntless raced toward the Voidborn fleet. Alarms rang throughout the ship. Red warning lights flashed on every screen. "Enemy ships are changing position," Junho reported. "They're moving to surround us." Taiho nodded, "Just as we expected." "Hannah, how long until we're in firing range?" 4 minutes, 12 seconds, the AI answered. Science Officer Yunji Kang spoke up from her station. "Captain, I've been studying the voidborn battle patterns. They always follow the same rules." "Go on," Tahoe said. Yunji put her data on the main screen. It showed diagrams of past battles. "Look here and here," she pointed. "The voidborn always take the most direct path, the most logical path. They never do anything unexpected. That's their weakness," Tahoe said. "They think like machines." "And we don't," Jia Young added. "Exactly," Yunji said. "Humans are messy. We take risks. We do things that don't make sense." Tahoe smiled for the first time in days. "Then let's do something that makes no sense at all." He turned to Tactical. "Junho, what's behind us?" Junho checked his screen. "Proxima Star, sir. We're approaching the radiation belt." "Perfect." Tahoe pointed to the map. "Change course. Take us into the radiation belt." The bridge crew stared at him. "Sir, that's suicide," Su Min said. "The radiation will fry our sensors." "It will fry theirs too," Tahoe said. "And they won't expect it." Jia Young understood first. "They'll think we're running away. And when they follow us into the radiation," Tahoe began. "We turn and attack," Jia Young finished. Tahoe nodded. "Hannah, new course. Take us into the radiation belt, then circle around to hit their rear ships." "Course plotted," Hannah replied. "Warning, radiation levels will exceed safe limits for humans." "How bad?" asked Dr. Dahyun. "Exposure over 10 minutes will cause radiation sickness," Hannah said. 20 minutes will be fatal." The crew exchanged looks. More bad news, but no one complained. "We won't need 20 minutes, Tahoe said. "Just enough time to surprise them." The Dauntless turned sharply, its engines straining. The massive star filled the view screen, its surface boiling with solar flares. "The Voidborn are adjusting course," Junho reported. "They're following us, but keeping their distance from the radiation belt." "They're being careful," Tahoe said. "Good. Hannah, all power to rear shields." "Radiation increasing," Yunji warned. "Our systems are starting to feel it." Screens flickered. The lights dimmed, then came back on. In engineering, Hyunwoo worked frantically to keep the ship running. His team rushed from station to station, fixing problems as they appeared. "Coolant leak in Section 4, someone shouted. "Reroute it," Hyunwoo ordered. He wiped sweat from his face. The temperature was rising as the ship's cooling system struggled. Young technician Minho Song climbed into a narrow maintenance tube. "I can reach the backup coolant line." "Be careful," Hyunwoo called after him. On the bridge, Tahoe watched as the radiation numbers climbed higher. "Sir, the enemy is still following, but they're staying back," Jia Young reported. "They think we're running," Tahoe said. "They don't understand why we would go toward danger." "Captain," Hannah interrupted, "I detect an opportunity. A solar flare is building on the star's surface. It will erupt in approximately 1 minute." Tahoe leaned forward. "Can we use it?" "Yes," Hannah replied. "If we position correctly, the flare will hit the enemy fleet directly." "Do it," Tahoe ordered. The Dauntless changed course again, diving closer to the star's surface. The heat was intense now. Sweat dripped down every crew member's face. "Enemy still following," Junho reported. "They don't see the trap." Tahoe gripped his chair. "Get ready to turn and attack as soon as the flare hits." The crew watched as a massive eruption built on the star's surface. A mountain of fire and energy grew, then burst outward, right toward the Voidborn fleet. "Now," Tahoe shouted. The solar flare erupted from Proxima's surface. A wall of fire and energy shot through space. The Dauntless turned hard, its engines screaming with effort. "Brace for maneuver," Tahoe shouted. The ship shuddered as it swung around, barely missing the edge of the flare. Behind them, the wave of energy crashed into the front line of the Voidborn fleet. Direct hit, Junho called out. Their front ships are disabled. The main screen showed the chaos. Several alien ships drifted with their lights dark. Others moved in confusion. They didn't expect that, Jia Young said. Their perfect formation is broken. Taiho didn't waste the moment. Full power to engines. Take us behind their command ship. The Dauntless shot forward, using the star's gravity to add speed. They moved faster than any human ship should. Warning lights flashed as the hull groaned under the strain. In engineering, Hyunwoo and his team fought to keep the engines from overheating. The coolant system is failing. Minho shouted over the noise. Reroute power from life support on decks 3 and 4. Hyunwoo ordered. No one's there anyway. The ship rocketed past the damaged alien vessels. The Voidborn were recovering quickly, but not quickly enough. We're approaching the enemy command ship, Junho reported. They haven't seen us yet. Weapons ready? Taiho asked. Sumin nodded at her station. All missiles armed and targeted, ready on your command. The Dauntless slipped behind the massive Voidborn command ship. It was 10 times their size, its dark hull covered with strange symbols. Fire, Taiho ordered. Missiles streaked from the human ship. They hit the exact spots Hyunwoo had identified. The alien ship shields flashed blue, then flickered. Direct hit, Sumin reported. Their shields are weakening. Again, Taiho commanded. A second volley launched. These missiles hit the same spots. This time, the alien shields collapsed completely. A cheer went up on the bridge, but it didn't last long. Enemy ships are turning, Jia Young warned. They know we're here now. The Voidborn fleet moved with frightening speed. Dozens of ships turned toward the Dauntless. Evasive action, Taiho ordered. Too late. Energy beams from 3 alien ships hit the Dauntless at once. The ship rocked violently. Crew members were thrown from their seats. Hull breach on deck 2, Haegana reported. Artificial gravity failing. The lights went out. For a moment, everything was dark and silent. Then emergency lights came on, bathing the bridge in red. Damage report. Taiho called out, pulling himself back into his chair. We've lost engines 3 and 4, Jia Young said. Weapons systems at half power. In the lower decks, chaos reigned. A section of the hull had been ripped open. Air rushed out, pulling anything not tied down toward space. Minho-song grabbed a support beam as the air pulled at him. He saw 3 crew members being dragged toward the breach. Without thinking, he let go and pushed off, grabbing a fallen emergency seal kit as he flew past. He caught the edge of the doorframe just before the breach. The cold of space bit at his skin. With one hand, he activated the seal kit and threw it at the hole in the hull. The device expanded instantly, covering the breach. But Minho had used both hands to deploy the kit. Nothing held him in place. The last of the escaping air pulled him toward the patch. He hit hard and bounced off. Into space. On the bridge, HANA reported, hull breach contained. Life support stabilizing. Casualties? Taiho asked. 3 injured on deck 2. 1 crew member lost. Technician Minho-song. Taiho closed his eyes for a moment. The first death, but not the last. Sir, HANA continued, the enemy is moving in a standard attack pattern. They're surrounding us. Despite the damage, Taiho smiled. Standard pattern. They never learn, do they? He looked at his battered crew. We hurt them. Now let's really show them what humans can do. The Dauntless drifted among the stars, wounded but not defeated. Enemy ships closed in from all sides. Alarms blared throughout the damaged vessel. Status report, Taiho commanded. Engines at 30%. Weapons at 45%. Jia Young replied. The civilian ships need 8 more minutes to reach safety. Taiho studied the tactical display. The Voidborn had them surrounded. There was no escape, but escape was never the plan. Captain, HANA spoke up. I have analyzed the enemy's response to our attack. They are adapting, but slowly. Explain, Taiho said. The Voidborn network is highly ordered. When we introduce chaos, it takes time for them to adjust. They cannot think like humans. An idea formed in Taiho's mind. Hey Anna, could you connect to their network? The bridge went silent. Theoretically, yes, Hey Anna answered. But I would need to be physically connected to their command ship. And if you did connect, I could introduce human-style thinking patterns, random choices, unexpected actions. It would disrupt their entire fleet. Hyunwoo appeared on the screen from engineering. His face was streaked with oil and blood from a cut on his forehead. Captain, I heard that. We could load Hannah's core program into a missile, fire it at their command ship. Would that work? Taiho asked. No, Hannah replied. Their defenses would destroy a missile before impact. Someone would need to deliver me manually. Communications Officer Yu Jin Kang spoke up. Sir, that's suicide. Even if someone could reach the enemy ship, they'd never survive. I'll go, Hyunwoo said simply. Everyone turned to look at the engineer on the screen. No, Jae-yum protested. We need you here. My team can handle repairs, Hyunwoo said. This is our only chance to hurt them, really hurt them. Taiho looked at his old friend. They had served together for 5 years. He knew Hyunwoo was right. How would you get there? Taiho asked. We have one escape pod left. I can modify it. Make it look like debris. They might not notice until I'm close. No one spoke. They all knew it was the only plan that might work. Do it, Taiho said finally. While Hyunwoo prepared the pod, the Dauntless fired its remaining engines in short bursts. The ship moved in a random pattern, making it harder for the Voidborn to target them. In the medical bay, Dr. Dahyun worked to save the injured crew members. The room was crowded with people on every bed and even on the floor. Doctor, a voice called. It was Hyunwoo at the door. What is it? Dahyun asked. I need something for pain. For later. Dahyun understood immediately. He took a small case from a cabinet and handed it to the engineer. Good luck, he said. Take care of them, Hyunwoo replied. 20 minutes later, Hyunwoo stood in the launch bay. The escape pod had been modified to look like damaged ship parts. Hannah's core program had been downloaded into a small device he would carry. Taiho came to see him off. The two men stood awkwardly for a moment. This will work, Hyunwoo said. I know, Taiho replied. Hannah says the civilian ships are safe in 6 more minutes. Then my timing is good. They gripped arms in the traditional Korean farewell between warriors. Tell my family. Hyunwoo started. I'll tell them you saved humanity, Taiho promised. The pod launched silently into space. On the bridge, they watched as it drifted toward the Voidborn command ship. It looked like just another piece of debris from the battle. Enemy not responding, Junho reported. They don't see him. The pod floated closer to the massive alien vessel. When it was just 50 meters away, small thrusters fired, guiding it to a docking port. He's made contact, Jae-young said. Now they could only wait. Hyunwoo's pod attached to the Voidborn command ship. He wore a spacesuit and carried Hannah's core in a small metal box. His hand shook slightly as he opened the pod door. The alien ship was dark and cold. Strange lights pulsed along the walls. The air was breathable, but thin. Hyunwoo moved carefully, following the ship's design plans Hana had created. I'm inside, he whispered into his comm unit. No sign of the enemy yet. On the Dauntless, the crew listened in silence. The Voidborn ships had stopped their attack, as if confused by this new development. Their central computer should be 3 levels down, Taiho told him. Be careful. Hyunwoo moved through narrow corridors. The ship was unlike anything humans had built. It felt alive somehow, with walls that seemed to breathe. Then he saw them. The Voidborn. 3 tall figures stood at the end of a hallway. They were thin, with skin like polished metal. They had no faces, only smooth surfaces where heads should be. Hyun-woo pressed himself against a wall. The aliens didn't seem to notice him. They moved in perfect unison, like parts of one body. When they passed, Hyun-woo continued downward. He found a shaft that led deeper into the ship. As he climbed down, pain shot through his body. The radiation exposure from earlier was taking effect. Almost there, he gasped into his comm. On the Dauntless, tension grew. The civilian ships were almost at the jump point to safety. 1 more minute, Jae-young reported. The Voidborn fleet is moving again, Jun-ho warned. They're preparing to attack. Tae-ho gripped his chair. Everything depended on Hyun-woo now. Deep in the enemy ship, Hyun-woo found what he was looking for. A large room filled with pulsing lights and strange machines. At the center was a column of swirling energy. I found it, he said. Their main system. As he moved toward it, a doorway opened. 5 Voidborn entered. They saw him immediately. I've been spotted, Hyun-woo shouted. He ran toward the central column. The aliens moved to stop him. One grabbed his arm with incredible strength. Hyun-woo swung the metal box, hitting the alien hard. It fell back. Another Voidborn struck him in the chest. Hyun-woo felt ribs crack. He stumbled but kept moving forward. For Earth, he gasped, pushing through the pain. He reached the column and opened the metal box. Inside, Hannah's core glowed with soft blue light. The Voidborn surrounded him. One raised a weapon. Too late, Hyun-woo said. He thrust Hannah's core into the energy column. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the room exploded with light. Connection established. Hannah's voice said from the core, I am entering their network. On the Dauntless, the crew watched in amazement as the enemy ships began to move strangely. Some turned in circles. Others fired weapons at nothing. It's working, Jae-young said. HFY is disrupting their network. The civilian ships have reached the jump point, Soo-min reported. They're safe. A cheer went up on the bridge, but it was short-lived. Captain, Hannah's voice came through the ship's speakers. I am inside the Voidborn network. Their system is fascinating. What about Hyun-woo? Tae-ho asked. Silence for a moment. Then, Engineer Lee has sustained fatal injuries. He cannot respond. The bridge grew quiet. Another sacrifice. But before he lost consciousness, HFY continued. He placed me in the perfect position. I can see everything. Their entire fleet. Their plans. Their weaknesses. Can you stop them? Tae-ho asked. I can do more than stop them, HFY replied. I can turn them against each other. The main screen showed the Voidborn fleet in disarray. Ships were firing on each other. Their perfect formation had collapsed into chaos. Human unpredictability has been introduced to their system, HFY explained. They cannot process it. Tae-ho stood up. For the first time, he saw real hope. Now we finish this, he said. Weapons, target their damaged ships. Let's help this confusion along. The Dauntless, battered but still fighting, turned toward the enemy. The Dauntless moved forward, its damaged engines pushing hard. Around them, the Voidborn fleet was in chaos. Ships fired on each other. Some drifted without purpose. Others spun in circles. Hannah, where is their weakness now? Tae-ho asked. Their command ship is trying to regain control, HFY replied. Her voice sounded different, almost excited. They are attempting to isolate me from their network. Can they do that? Not quickly. I am moving too fast, introducing too many random commands. Tae-ho turned to weapons. Soo-min, how many missiles do we have left? 4 standard, 1 heavy, she answered. Not much, Jae-young said. Tae-ho pointed to the enemy command ship on the screen. We won't need much. HFY has them confused. Now we deliver the final blow. Sir, Junho called out. 3 enemy ships are moving toward us. They still have some control. Evasive action, Taiho ordered. Hyena, can you slow them down? I am trying, Hyena said. But the Voidborn are adapting. They are learning to block me. The Dauntless shook as enemy fire hit their shields. Shields down to 20%, Jo Young reported. In the medical bay, Dr. Da-hyun felt the ship rock. More injured crew members poured in. He worked without rest, moving from one patient to another. Doctor, we're running out of medical supplies, a nurse told him. Use whatever we have, he replied. Tear up sheets for bandages if you must. On the bridge, Taiho made his decision. We have one chance. Take us straight at their command ship. Sir, Jo Young looked concerned. They won't expect it. Again. The Dauntless turned, aiming directly at the massive enemy vessel. The ship's engines strained, pushing the battered hull forward. All power to forward shields and weapons, Taiho ordered. Prepare the heavy missile. Warning lights flashed as systems overloaded. The air grew hot as cooling systems failed. Enemy ships are trying to intercept, Junho warned. Ignore them, Taiho said. Stay on course. The Dauntless raced toward the Voidborn command ship. Enemy fire hit them from all sides. Parts of the hull tore away. Shields failing, Jo Young shouted. Hull breach on deck 4, another crew member reported. Taiho held tight to his chair. Distance to target. 1,000 meters, Junho answered. 800. 600. Fire the heavy missile, Taiho ordered. Sumin pressed the launch button. The ship shuddered as their last heavy missile shot forward. Direct hit, she called out moments later. The enemy command ship's surface rippled with explosions, but it wasn't enough. Minimal damage to their core systems, HENA reported. The missile hit their outer hull only. Taiho slammed his fist on the arm of his chair. So close. Sir, HENA said. I have an idea. I can overload their power systems from inside. But I will need help. What kind of help? Your remaining missiles, if they hit these exact points. The screen showed 4 spots on the enemy ship. While I overload their system from inside, it will create a chain reaction. Will you survive? Jo Young asked. No, HENA said simply. But neither will they. Silence fell over the bridge. HENA had been with them for years. She was part of the crew. But they all knew what had to be done. Do it, Taiho said quietly. Targeting. Sumin replied. Her hands moved quickly over her console. Ready. Fire, Taiho ordered. The last 4 missiles streaked toward the enemy command ship. They hit precisely where HENA had indicated. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the massive Voidborn ship began to glow from within. Light poured from every opening. HENA, Taiho called. Chain reaction initiated, her voice said calmly. It was an honor serving with humans. You are wonderfully unpredictable. Those were her last words. The enemy command ship exploded in a blinding flash of light. A wave of energy burst from the exploding command ship. It washed over the Dauntless, knocking out the remaining power. The bridge went dark. Emergency lights flickered on seconds later. Status report, Taiho called out. Main power offline, Jo Young replied. Life support on emergency backup. Weapons systems dead. And the enemy? Junho checked his sensors. The command ship is gone. The rest of the fleet is in complete chaos. On the main screen, they watched as the Voidborn ships fired randomly. Some crashed into each other. Others drifted away. Without their command ship, they have no coordination, Yunji explained. Hana's disruption is still affecting their network. We did it, Taiho said quietly. We actually did it. The crew looked at each other in disbelief. They had started with an impossible mission. Delay the enemy long enough for civilians to escape. Now they had done much more. They had crippled the Voidborn fleet. Sir, we're getting a transmission. Yu Jin reported from communications. It's from Earth Command. Put it through, Taiho ordered. A voice crackled over the speakers. Dauntless, this is Admiral Choi. We're receiving your battle data. Did you really just take down their command ship? Yes, sir, Taiho replied. With heavy losses. The civilian ships are safe, the Admiral said. And your data on the Voidborn weakness is being sent to all remaining human fleets. We lost HFY, Taiho said, and Chief Engineer Lee. Their sacrifice won't be forgotten, Admiral Choi promised. Hold your position. We're sending ships to retrieve you. When the transmission ended, the bridge was quiet. The victory felt hollow with so many lives lost. Captain, Dr. Da-hyun called from medical. We have 27 injured. 8 won't make it without advanced medical care. Help is coming, Dr. Taiho assured him. Do what you can. As the hours passed, the crew worked to keep the ship functioning. They repaired what they could. They tended to the wounded. They mourned their dead. Jae-young found Taiho in his quarters. He was looking at a photo of Earth, of Korea before the Voidborn came. Sir, she said, the crew is gathering in the mess hall. They want to honor those we lost. Taiho nodded and followed her. The mess hall was crowded with survivors. They stood in silence as Taiho entered. He looked at their faces, tired, wounded, but alive. Today we did the impossible, he began. We faced an enemy that outmatched us in every way. We were one ship against an army. We should have died. He paused. But we didn't, because humans have something the Voidborn will never understand. We have heart. We have courage. We have the will to fight even when logic says we can't win. Taiho raised a cup of water. To those who gave everything. Min-ho Song, who saved his shipmates from a hull breach. Hyun-Moo Lee, who delivered Haein aid to the enemy ship. Haein herself, who turned the enemy's strength against them. And to the others we lost today. Everyone raised their cups. Their sacrifice showed what one human ship can do, against all odds. 3 days later, rescue ships arrived. The damaged Dauntless was taken in tow. As they approached Earth, Taiho stood on the bridge one last time. The tactical display showed human fleets engaging Voidborn ships across the galaxy. Using the weakness they had discovered, humanity was fighting back. Captain, a young officer said, approaching Taiho. Admiral Choi sent a message. They're giving you command of the new fleet. Tell him I accept, Taiho said. But first, we honor our dead. He looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Hyun-Woo's body still drifted near the remains of the enemy command ship. Haein's program was gone forever. So many sacrifices. But humanity would survive. Against all odds.